I met my little hero about 25, 30 years ago now. I was living in London, England, and it was one of the coldest months of the year. And my then partner and I decided to do what Londoners still do to this day, leave. So we booked a holiday to Mallorca, and we left in the early hours of the morning. So we would arrive to the house that we were staying at, dump our luggage, get our beach kit together, and get out to the beach just before dawn. So we arrived, spread our things out, and stayed and enjoyed the sun, sea, and sand. And it was just starting to become dusk, and I rolled over on my mat, he rolled over on his, and we looked at each other, and we both knew there was no hope in hell we were going to go back to the house and shower and get dressed and go out again to have dinner. So we decided we'd go shopping and have a little barbecue that night, just the two of us. And we remembered a large supermarket that we passed on the way to the beach. So we went to the supermarket, and he got a buggy, I got a buggy, and we went two different directions to do our shopping. And I filled my cart with everything I thought we would need that I was going to shop for. And my last stop was the main ingredient, which was going to be fish barbecued that night. And I arrived at, it was probably one of the biggest, even to this day, fish areas that I've ever seen in any supermarket. It was huge. And on my left, it had to be about 20 feet, an aisle that was just a slope of ice. And on this slope was every kind of creature that swam or crawled in the oceans, everything. Things that I'd never seen before, things I didn't know what they were. And I was slowly going along with my buggy, looking at all this death on this ice. And at the top, what caught my eye, there was small little wooden crates. And the lid of one of the crates started bobbing up and down, which caught my eye, and I stopped and looked, and it bobbed up and down. And a little red claw came out, and another red claw came out, and two little antennae. So I stopped to see what it was, and a little head came out attached to the antenna. And it hoisted itself up, fell into the ice, immediately turned itself around facing downhill. And it was a little langoustine. Some of you might have had langoustines for dinner last night, I don't know. It's a little creature that looks like a tiny lobster. And I watched it as it turned around really quickly, and then it stopped, and it didn't move. And it started very slowly, after a long pause, started walking down the ice, but very carefully. It wasn't touching any of the carnage ahead of it. It wasn't touching or walking over any of the fish. And I remembered reading and seeing a program on TV that talked about the intelligence of crustaceans, lobsters, almost as smart as octopus. I don't know if any of you knew that. So I thought, I wonder, as it's going so carefully, not touching any of the dead creatures, is it aware that this is odd? Is it aware of where it is? And I was so involved in what was going on, I didn't notice that there was a guard beside me who was doing the same thing. Both of us were hunched over watching. And I looked at him, he looked at me, he scowled at me, said something in a language I didn't understand, put his hand on a baton that they didn't carry guns then. And I thought, oh my God, he's going to smash this little creature. And instead, he grabbed it, lifted the lid, tossed it in the lid, said something to me again, scowling, and walked away. And I was watching him when my partner came up to the other side of me and said, hey, I've been waiting for you at the checkout. What are you doing? And it all came out. This creature, this langoustine, we have to save it, we have to do something, what's going to happen? And he said, sweetie, you've had too much sun. And I was still going on, and he said, just think how good a tall glass of homemade sangria is going to be. The sooner we get out of here, the sooner you're going to have that glass. Go on, get some salmon, I'll meet you out front. So I stopped and I thought, yeah, of course he's right. You can't save a langoustine. It's not like saving a dog or a cat. But as I was walking away, there was something. Even to this day, I feel it here. Something. I wanted to do something. But what? And as I was walking away, I turned around and looked at the wooden crate, and it was bobbing up and down again. And a little red claw came out, and another red claw came out, 2 little antennae, and a little head. And ever since, to this day, I have other heroes, but this particular fella got me in here. Never give up, in spite of the odds. Don't give up.